Hello, my name is Ninja Welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. In the previous session, a number of things have happened, but the condensed version is we found out the identity of at least to Exum. As it turns out, it is Misty Fey. And we got a history lesson / refresher of the Fey clan and what has happened in the previous two games. The bad blood between the main family and the branch family, namely Morgan Fey. And the events before and after DL6. But more importantly, we know about Morgan Fey's other daughters, which is still like the main surprise, among other things, of course. And yeah, now we're going to the courtroom to try to defend. One second. We're going back to the courtroom to try to defend. I almost said pearls. To defend sister. Oh, I drawing a blank. To try to defend one of the Let's just go back to court before I have a brain fart again. To defend Sister Iris, who's still being accused of murder. And yeah, we'll just go from there. There's a lot of stuff to break down, and that's the best I could do with what I have, so. February 10th, 9:39 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 1. Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself? Oh, morning, Pearls. Mr. Nick, please tell me, what's gonna happen to Mystic Maya? I'm sorry, we don't know yet. Oh, other detail I glossed over. Maya Fey is still either stuck in the inner temple because Cyclops are still being solved apparently by Francisca and Sister Iris, so we're in the dark on that side, but yeah, the one fact I glossed over. Well, the investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple. Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those strict locks in the training hall? No, she's a defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court. And how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? Well, I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's office. I mean, is there a... No, there isn't. I think prosecutor's office, prosecutor's lobby. I think I glossed over that fact. Edgeworth. What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecution is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard. Francisca von Karma? What are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Francisca isn't going to be the prosecutor today. And Nani? And then... Oh, I have a sneaking feeling of who it is.
And his name is Jusice!
Who else would it be but John Cena? I mean, terrible. Go Dot. Of course, it's him. Siska's engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean she's... Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. The headland's assistants, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. It's not a mistrial, but there's a lot of coincidences that are uncanny to say the least. But no mistrial. I hope everything continues to go smoothly. We receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Goda intends to nail this case shut today. Prepare to fight like there's no tomorrow. Well, you don't have to tell me twice. Touche. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. That's strange. On the way here today, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Also, immediately after I made that decision, I found myself get stronger. A lot of stuff to recap, Rebel, but long story short, our deceased victim is Misty Fey, and there's a lot of Fey bloodline business happening with Morgan Fey and her twin daughters, apparently. That there's a lot to recap. Long story short, there's some Fey family stuff that's continuing to go on behind the scenes, and Misty Fey got murdered by some ambitious plot by Morgan Fey or someone associated with her. We don't know the full details just yet. And we know that Maya is still missing in action because she's stuck in the inner temple. There is a connection. There was a very long history and refresher of the Fey clan, so there's a lot of stuff that you missed, and there's way too much to recap. Just smell and nod. It'll be fine. I promise. Interesting. Maybe you pass your cone to someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. Well, I still don't have answers to most of the riddles plaguing this case. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Duexum? No, I mean Miss Misty Fey. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what Morgan Fey's really after. Well, solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Oh, my mouse is still sticking out. Oopsie. Still professional, you know, after like a couple day hiatus because of real life stuff. February 10th, 10 a.m. District Court, Court number 7. Oh, we're back to having Uji instead of Canadian judge. Court is now a session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. ... Sweaty ... Your Honor? What are you? Who, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in McChambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers? That explains a lot. Poor brother, he looks a bit pale, but not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we at the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understand exactly what you said. At least up until the end, anyway. Got it, Mr. Godot. Please proceed your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. So then you mean, forget it, what do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. A confession? A defendant? Iris, why didn't you discuss this with me first? Fair now. Just call it out here to defend his confession. Yeah, Phoenix took over after after the end of the first day of court. Mostly because Phoenix had a really bad code after plunging into the Eagle River, I think, wherever the river was called. So he's better now. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. My name is Iris. I'm but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple. But wait, is it just something you really want to confess to? Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright, but what is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Confession to be indefensible. I object to that. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Mr. Elise to Exum? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple Korea where I desecrated it. We're all in danger. What? Order in the court, order. Witness, are you saying you're an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. Nani? 3 minutes in court and I'm already covering a cold sweat. Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happened to be that in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? Good dots. So this is a confession that we're conferring about. Oh, it pains me to say this. But it looks like Iris' testimony was all a lie. Oh, that's going in the trash. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I got a question for you. What crime are you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris is covering for someone? Now I'm definitely up the creek while I paddle or a life jacket. Well, I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Kirin's tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. I'm sorry, but it's main family. Yes, and so I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. Daughter of the master of the cure and channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey. Huh? Wake up and smell the coffee tray. She's naming Maya? Of course he is. Order in the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer? I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try and protect her. Objection. That's ridiculous. Maya could never do it. The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Without witness, let's hear their testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime? Yes, Your Honor. Well, I thought I was prepared for the unexpected. But I never imagined a case would wind up going in this direction. Maya's always connection. I want to say this is the third or fourth time at this point that Maya's been accused of murder in some degree. I want to say the fourth time probably sounds about right, but it might be three. Either way. I'd be surprised after the third time Maya's been accused of it, but sure game. The real murder. I went to the inner temple and I saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole a weapon. It was only a self-defense. You can't blame her for it. Soldier was in self-defense. Yes, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya. I moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. Got the instincts of a true criminal. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday. And Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Mr. Knight, please proceed with your cross-examination. Remind myself, because there's a lot of evidence now at this point. I mean, not that sword, but a certain other sword that we uncovered during yesterday's events. Again, a lot of stuff to unwind and not enough time to explain everything. When in doubt. Yeah, hold it exactly. Yep. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You said that yesterday on this night of the murder, you didn't go to the temple. Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? I was at the inner temple's training hall. Private conversation between the two does not constitute testimony. That'd be properly described as hearsay. What do you have to say, witness? I just couldn't tell him the truth at that time. Mystic Maya? She's your girlfriend, isn't she? didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder. Of course. Uji, please. You're saying that the victim attacked Miss Fey? Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Miss Maya was struck hard in the head and looked like she was gonna collapse. What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting? I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened and I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock. That's probably understandable, but yeah. Doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. She moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. Dagger, huh? And at least two X-Men tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Fey? Yes, exactly. Tch. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. You have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? I don't think I'm being baited into a trap, but I'm pretty sure I know what the inconsistency is. Your Honor, I have a small problem with this witness's testimony. You do? But this witness is your own client. Yeah, well, nonetheless, it's fine. Witness, let's ask your last statements to your testimony. Yes, sir. Just a moment, it's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment be rendered by me. Okay now, let's continue. Okay, I think I know what the inconsistency is. Or I could be wrong. It's always what it is, yeah. Objection. Sister Iris. There's something strange about your version of events. Nani? Mr. Maxim throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with a staff is hit someone. Well, naturally you wouldn't notice, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. Other than it was slightly magical, apparently. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elisa Duxon really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Now when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands ready. Oh well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trey. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? The longsword is unwieldy, thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over a blade. Well... Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill my Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony. Said I, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back his argument. Mr. Wright? I have here another piece of evidence that shows that his testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise would never attempt to take the life of my Fey. I'm not sure if I'm like well, not really tricked, but present the wrong piece of evidence. I'm pretty sure this is going to be wrong, but they want me to present the talisman, but I'm going to do this instead. Lisa Wexham would never have attacked Mount Fey. Also take that. How can he be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elisa Wexham. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? No, not Mystic Misty Fey. This is Misty Fey. Is she related to... Misty Fey is a master of the current channeling technique. She's also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious? Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elisa Wexham actually the great Mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. Looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter that she hasn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one of the victims supposedly threw away a sword during the fight, and two that the two people fell to the death of the mother and daughter. Despite the facts being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that is possible. Except for one little thing. Yeah, so this is one impossible thing? You still don't get it. I think maybe my beans are under roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're gonna ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who let us investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And discovered this little beauty. Is that a thing of the witness testimony to the scene? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else? As you mentioned, if you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. Where'd you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? Pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood on the dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Were you even listening, old man? I first heard his confession this morning. Just had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Did he say it was your age just a few minutes ago? Didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed in such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that the blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Yeah, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Of course, there's something else that we missed. And now then, testimony we just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Kyukyos never lie, ever. In any case, witness, if you could please testify against this court. About what, Your Honor? About the incident you saw. The battle between the two women. Yes, Your Honor. The battle. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one defensive with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. That was a very heartbreaking story. I don't know if there's any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Mystic Missy's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. And that seems reasonable. That is tonight, proceed to cross-examination. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this? What do you mean? Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued the battle. I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing at the garden's stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark when where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me. And so it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey-te do when she was struck? What happened to the victim's staff then? I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated. That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger. Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picks it up. Nothing sounds especially strange yet. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? You're saying that my Fey turned the tables on the victim? Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger. So I can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description is a description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. Everyone has started. Anyway, so after I played back the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost. The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. What did you just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely? Objection! We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night. And that woman that was killed was at least 2x'em. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? Do I have anything to counter that yet? Well then, with this, please continue with your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. And then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground. So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh? Yes. What was it? Wait. No, I think I got it. I think, or I'm probably wrong. Objection. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? Well, according to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears to understand the doubt is brought up in your testimony. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Light? It's simple. People are like books. If I got a friend in the back, you get my draft. Is that all you have to say? You can also say that darkness doesn't play with the human mind. Objection. Can you please knock it up with the cheap proverbs and illogical metaphors ready? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach? Also, legend your second today, congrats. There certainly are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it? Well, it's just... Ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. To pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really just concentrating on what this victim actually said? Prosecutor, go down to explain yourself. The witness was quite ambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said. The garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. Human needs one thing to see clearly. That is light. Light? By the way, did you know? Asakura has a rule that on nights when the acolyte is at the inner temple training, still lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the climb more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to be nearly pitch black in the garden at night. There could have been a faint light coming from the turning hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Yes, that limiting factors chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it'd be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. You can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite? Order. Here, Your Honor. May I present the stone lantern as evidence? Maybe we'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. The lantern from the inner temple garden was not lit the night of the crime, because of course. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? It's lantern. There's something good on it. Why, it's written in blood. Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood? It says Maya upside down. What the? Oh, yes, that's right. After being cornered and stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing down so lantern behind her. With that blood that was draining out of her body. Yeah, sadly it looks that way. Hang on just a minute. What are y'all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? Yeah, Hazard, welcome on in. We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Could it be? He can't see the bloody writing at all? When I think about it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So that's what he meant by that. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim saw this message on the stone lantern. Unless I go down to anything further. Mr. Godot? Okay then, let's move on. Godot's slowly shaking and somehow I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. I believe it's now been established that Mr. Luxon was killed by Maya Fey. It's just wrong. It's time to turn our attention to you. Yes, sir. After the victim died, he did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears. This entire testimony is just screamed just sus all in general, but I'm totally not being biased or anything. Anyway, Sister Iris' cover-up. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the current tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used a snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple and... I used this Shido to alter the way the wound looked. So you moved the body? Yes. As raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. But even so, I never imagined that at least to Exum was actually Misty Fey. I've committed a terrible sin. Devilish judge of fate. I believe you're looking for Twist of Fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but you're spotted but a head done, correct? Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back. Your story makes sense, I suppose. You said I had to go ahead with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. So you waited until everything was over before making a move? No, it's not like that. She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. Your job as a judge and beneath the argument? It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me, and it finally dawned on her what she'd done. Or what she had done. So then, you knew? You knew the significance of the name Maya Fey? Yes, of course I did. It's odd. I mean, Sister McKean didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position. Anyway, she was a very special person indeed. Well, why'd you do that? Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene. You removed the body all by yourself? Yes, I did. Would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow. Snow, huh? Wow, it's pretty amazing you can make it all the way across. It's a rickety old bridge. It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age. like they say. Idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple coat. Just one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple. I thought it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible. Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, you have to cross the bridge. Snowmobile? Well, I knew that would show up sooner or later. Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. What is this part? This is the part that was in question the other day. What was the picture like again? I forgot. Well, if you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. Well, this picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks for that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple. Wait, is that true? No, that's too vague with timeline to be used as evidence. And no, that's a big inconsistency because that's when the lightning struck the bridge. So I think that's my end. That's why there's such fresh looking tracks. That's very important. When the murder took place, the snow already stopped. Does it make sense to be stacking up against the other evidence? Your Honor, I'd like the statement Irish just made be added to the testimony. Does that have to do with the case? All will be made clear if we allow our statement to be added to the record. This should be fun. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. Don't mind me, I'm just being paranoid as always. No. Of course, that's not the thing. Okay, it's not that piece of evidence either. I mean, I was gonna say by the time the snow stopped, I mean the bridge got burnt down, but that's not the evidence. That's not the I was thinking of. Okay, or that. Curiosity. There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true? Yes, I am. When the murder happened, the snow already stopped. Well, according to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear. That's right, I'm certain of it. You get trapped there this time. See how you think. Snow, huh? What's going on here? If the snow really had stopped by the time of the murder, it'd mean there'd be a bigger hole in the story in the movie The Great Revelations. Well done, Mr. Trey. I see you have to share your theory with us. Let's see what's up your sleeve, or rather at the end of your index finger. Don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic's failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. Oh. What? Did I press this part? Because I don't think I did. Is that what you were doing? Sister Bikini saw you? Yes, that's right. She probably thought the worst. Probably, more like definitely. I see. So Sister Bikini thought you were the one that murdered Mr. Exum? I'm so sorry, please forgive me. It's my fault the case has gotten so confusing. Okay, so I'm just presenting the wrong evidence. Even though I think what I presented in the first place was the correct bit, but probably not.
Objection! Objection!
Okay, now just grasping the straws. Thing is, I'm not sure what the game wants me to present as evidence. Because I was thinking the weather report, because that shows a big inconsistency that the bridge burned down, so she couldn't possibly have dragged the body across the bridge to begin with. But that's not the detail. It's not the spear, it's not the talisman.
Objection!
It's not the horrible sketch that shows that the bridge is on fire to begin with. Is it the other way around? Am I able to I suppose it's still wheel instead. Let me hear more about this snowmobile ride. Wow, it's very cold that night. So I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
Objection.
Sorry, witness. Now I got a problem with your testimony. Excuse me? Katao, what are you up to now? At night, after the head nun left the remain of the train to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Haskura Temple. Yeah, son, very certain knows what the record indicates. Sakura Thomas went on the subject. Snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, what'd you say? Order, Mr. Kotatz? What are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony? Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay? Well, maybe? Sister Bikini missed it? Yes, maybe she didn't see it. Think she missed it? It's not right. Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just, you better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you should have any trouble understanding that. Yes, sir. What's that all about? Why would John want to give me a hint? I mean, I don't think that really changed anything.
Objection.
Nah, I figured I tried. Okay, I'm missing something important.
Objection.
I was thinking that maybe doing the other thing would give me the option, but no. I just don't see what it is. Yeah, it's not relevant yet. Just recapping what she said so I can think more clearly. She already stopped. Is it really like, is it really the instructions then?
Objection!
No. The time that Mercy took place, the snow had already stopped.
Objection!
I'm just unsure what the game wants me to present, even though I'm still confident that the weather report should have been what it should have been.
Objection!
Wasn't the crime photo also the report still consistent technically? Or did I not present it?
Objection!
No, I did.
Objection! Objection! Objection!
I think it's fine, just pretty much just brute forcing because I'm not sure what the game wants me to present.
Objection!
Did I present this or no?
Objection!
I did. But I have not presented the dagger?
Objection!
No.
Objection!
Remind me, I was just trying to think what the game wants me to think.
Objection! 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 Objection!
Now I'm just missing something obvious that I just don't have, or something along those lines. Also, sorry about doing sorry about things. It's fine.
Objection!
It's either that or the game's just trolling me with saying that this part's important when it probably isn't important.
Objection! Hold it!
Objection!
Something I'm missing. Hmm.
Objection!
No, I think it is just the last name. I just presented the wrong evidence. That's all I could think of. That's the only thing I could think of.
Objection!
I did present this, right?
Objection! Objection!
And I'm pretty sure at this point I probably present every single piece of evidence I have on me.
Objection!
And the murder took place is still re-stopped. I'm just trying to think if anything else is out of place besides that statement. Maybe it's not that statement, but maybe it's... No, it doesn't make sense to him now.
Objection!
This has to be this statement and not the last statement.
Objection!
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be stumped here for a while.
Hold it! Hold it! Objection!
Okay. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped.
Objection!
I'll be honest, I'm stumped and I'm actually gonna see what the game expects me to do because my thought process is the weather report is a big inconsistency since again the bridge would have burnt down by the time the snow happened. Uh, it's that, but it's so wrong. Okay. I'm gonna exit that, so I'll actually look at that again. I don't think this sounds right, but I looked at a hint because this had me legitimately stumped, and it's saying this.
Objection!
Game, why do you give me false? Like that's not the option thing. Or maybe it was, and I was being oblivious. Yeah, wait, I was right. Wrong. Right evidence, wrong location. But that, sure. Also, objection. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris, that just isn't possible. Nani? This is a weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was caught on by lightning and it caught on fire. What did you say? A bridge? It was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't. It can't be. Well, looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. Order, order, order. The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has limits. Any further line and I will find you in contempt of court. You have anything to say for yourself?
Objection.
The only person here that's truly contemptible is you. Oh man. Me? How dare you? But this witness lies or not doesn't mean squat right now. Squat? One thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of at least 2 exes was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Second, the head nun, Sister Bikini. With his iris that screened at least 2 exes' body. I wish he would battle these 3 viewers. I want to meet them all. Now, unfortunately, Surrybot knows a lie and just executes them on the spot, aka just bans them automatically. It's just weird that there's multiple of them coming in now, but I pay no attention to them. They get 0 attention. Life goes on. Well, he makes a good point on both accounts. It's right. I'm not lying. What are you claiming this time? I wasn't myself at all that night. So my memory is still somewhat hazy. Objection. Well, you stood at the witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory that night is hazy?
Objection.
It's only human to err. You're so perfect, right? Maybe you could explain this for the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge already burnt down. Somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick. Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt out bridge. But unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. See what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Alright then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more. About what, Your Honor? You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contains a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. Will this be your final testimony? I'm so annoyed at the whole, that last statement wasn't the truth, but at the same time, the evidence was the right thing. Still shaking my head. Moving the body. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there's a way to cross a burning bridge? So this is just a misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken in the morning after the incident. It certainly was burned to the crisp, and what the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole diction just fall. Maybe it'd be impossible to carry clothes across a bridge this while it is in this condition. Well, unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's gonna be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder. Trade. I'm only gonna say it one more time. ... exclamation point. It's only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes. And it's a light. He's beginning a final cross-examination. Yes, but the snow had already stopped when the incident took place. I couldn't have crossed the bridge, naturally. But I think it's just like Mr. Godot said. The body did make it across somehow. But you seemed to be quite sure of yourself when you gave your testimony. You said you were sure the snow had already stopped. I'm terribly sorry. I was wrong. Does she really think an apology is gonna get her off the hook? It's no joke, you're giving sworn testimony in the court of law. Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today? Well, actually it was, you see, it's not that easy to remember, is it? But if it had been some kind of special day, I would have remembered. For example, it was pouring rain the day of my elementary school graduation.
Objection.
No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, Trey. Nani? By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. He insists on assessing over one statement. Let's see the truth. Show some evidence the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire. This probably isn't the idea, but maybe?
Objection!
No, or it is. Objection. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. Nani? You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible at your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. What is it? Who is this witness? Okay, I can't check it out here. Gotta keep on the attack and go, go, go. Mr. Elise Duexon's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Laurice Duexon. Brilliant, highly gifted apprentice? Well, remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think we all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Is it right? Are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Oh, that judge looks like he's about to blow a basket. Well, Trey, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does the sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm gonna prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. You're so eager to turn this case upside down. Let us start with the sketch. Upside down? Why did I go down to say that? Don't mind me, I'm trying to just imagine what this looks like upside down. Hmm. I mean, it's in a realm possibility, aka I'm probably just gonna have to wing it like always. Alright, then let's hear it finish daily. Aka to my memes, I'm proudly saving. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I think old Whisker Face is gonna forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Louisa Rexham is exactly what happened. Of course, the victim was flying through the air. You see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh. You know, yes, I don't know if yesterday's witness. So last thing I wanted to hear. You have any evidence the victim flew through the air? Just so you know, you haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the inner temple yet. Well, I wish I had. Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're one cuss worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time. This will be some way, I just know it. There must have been a way to use their sketch to show the truth of what happened. Wasn't it this part that had the thing?
Objection!
Yes, it was. Something's obviously funny about the sketch. No other critic, but even I can see that. No, that's not what I meant, Your Honor. Louise Exum stated over and over that the sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. Contradicts reality? This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger pointing thing again. Okay, Trey, so what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? The things I wouldn't think I would have had to point out. I'm assuming these wired things, right? Is this wire connected to the bridge? The wire? Is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. Show us a reality I suppose he conflicts with. What you just gave me, actually? Also take that. That's as photo as Dusky Ridge, correct? Yeah, now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge, jumping to Jehoshaphat, the wires are below the guard wires. Order. The sketch is somewhat different from what is within the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong? Or perhaps he just drew it wrong? Either way, it just sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Clarice, I admit this take is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, I think back, alright? Remember what Clarice was doing when he witnessed this event? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and he waited, and finally he laid down. But then lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now, ponder what sort of position Clarice must have been in at the time. He was laying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene as he did. He was laying on his back? I can't see how it relates. But it does, Your Honor. This is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down. No way. Clarice Exum witnessed the event while he was laying on his back face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. So then the sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Clarice Exum's sketch is like this. That's how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum. That was a spit take number 4, I think, at this point. Order. Odd thing to say, a pendulum. While the bridge was ready to crash, there was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found in the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And the pendulum was the only way to get it done. Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Oh yeah, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope of at least 10 years long. To get a rope that long, you had to plan ahead. Objection. While the lightning strike that night can only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. Nani? I'm saying it was just a matter of using what's already there. that case, Mr. Knight, please give us an installation of sports utility. Well, the only thing I could think of is the photo. Take that. And the meaning of this is, well, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. This is one of the wires on the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose with his anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around at least Exon's body. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. That's a lot of coffee. Mr. Kotat? It seems that Mr. Kotat is focused on his questions and coffee to answer my question. It seems that the odds of the rope being readily available are very high. So I suppose it's not an impossibility after all.
Objection.
Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. It's only one question. Did that really happen? I wonder if we could prove what happened to us. Yeah, I do actually. Take that. Because that's the only thing that makes sense if we're going by that logic. I think. Well, before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. And looking at the map, we can only see that it's the one that was in front of the inner temple. Oh yeah, also that's... Yeah, that's also what I was thinking. Because that's where we found the orb. And the orb was over there. So then, that was the spot where the criminal... Yeah, precisely. Now let's consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. Nani? What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? Well, take a look at the autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then as a result of that impact, this crystal spear was knocked loose. That's... Yeah, the bloodstained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Elise Dweck's slightly magical staff. Even more important is the place where the crystal spear was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. Crystal is found... Eh? Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. Explains your theory quite well, Mr. Knight. You provided us with a way the body could have moved that night. And a blessed lecture, Mr. Knight's most impressive. Mr. Knight? I thought this cool coffee might help cool you down. Of course, I get coffee again. What is the meaning of this physical dot? That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, try. You forgot about one thing. What would that be? The aroma. Huh? Coffee's most reliable accomplices a deep and profound aroma. The rest of the coordinates speak Coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more? Everyone has sent the bodies to their side, like you say. Naturally, there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So who collected the body? What do you have to say about that trait? Well, mystical daughters connect. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Knight, you know what you must do. Yeah, don't worry about it, Your Honor. I'm totally not breaking the fourth wall. Mr. Knight, you keep mentioning this fourth wall, but there's only... You know what? Never mind. Right, Your Honor. Right, the body could have made to Hazakura's temple without an accomplice. Yeah, then, if you please, Mr. Knight. I'm probably wrong in the fact, but I'm not gonna make an assumption. Take that. That aroma just now. Also, phone, please. You know, I'll take those point loss in the chin. Get my bags all mixed up like this. After the accomplice received the body to carry to Hazakura Temple, they need altar using the Chikisiro. There's only one person it could be. Okay, it's not that I'm not gonna eat 2-point losses in Chen like that. Also take that. It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini can never pick up a body like that. You're the only one I could imagine.
Objection.
Trey, are you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was a cleanup detail on the inner temple garden after the brother-daughter bloodbath. Objection. Well, I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Quadat? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple. Yes, carrying the corpse of the victim. Oh. Strange indeed. It's almost as if on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? Angela, of course. Using a sketch drawn by an eyewitness. After established how the body was moved using the burnt out bridge. Which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. Nani? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this when this isn't Iris Asakura temple?
Objection!
Are you serious, Wright? You mean this woman is... There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse at night. And now I get it. And now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin the murder on Maya. The woman is standing there at the witness stand. Okay, I think now I get it. Her real name is... Take that. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again. Let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, is Dahlia Hawthorne. That name some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago. My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. No, y'all. Alright, I remember now. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says that execution was carried out last month. So what? Jeff has a meeting in this courtroom. What? Order. Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of... Objection. You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of a curing channeling technique flows within that body. A curing channeling technique? No. What have I heard that? That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently having the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone? On the very night of the murder, to a temple where twin sister Iris was? Well, if you're gonna put things that way, then yeah.
Objection!
I'm supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens? Objection. Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions. What's that? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fey. and part of the plan called for Jolly Cauldron to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as he heard the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means that Iris that was at dinner was it Iris? And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you even know what you're saying, Trite? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. What? Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. At the meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum. Oh, that's right. Naturally, that meant the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yeah. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in a room and arrested her. Ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Suppose. Hasn't denied any of that. Ew, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced. The something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night. Suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Yeah, just gonna break the fourth wall first. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia. Somehow switch places? Switch places? To be perfectly honest, there's still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, that's a night. Since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple. Yes, actually. Your Honor. I think there might have been one chance. Well, explain yourself. Well, yesterday for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. What do you mean? What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely unsupervised. Well, who is it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that? I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. Yep, I remember that. Sorry, Edgy. Take that. This is Ashriff, isn't it? Your Honor. There was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake? Hmm. Alright, I remember this. I remember that because that was part of the whole Revelations thing. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they'd already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. That's quite enough of it, Mr. Light. Now, see here. No, judging this out of your mind, we consider the idea of child memory again. Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. That voice. Guess I have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, I always ask for a name and profession. It's one of my rules. Dahlia Hawthorne, in my current profession, permanently retired. Tch. So you're not gonna bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. What's going on here? Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again. Never would have thought we'd meet like this. This time I'll end it. For her and for myself. To be continued. How about the gods? I did. Do I really want a clipping at this point? I thought I'm considering because it's already like the time where I would usually stop. You know, we'll go a little bit further, but we'll probably stop halfway through it. February 10th, 10:06 p.m. District Court, Court number 7. And now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? File the witness. Yes, how can I help you, Mr. Judge? Well, it seems that if we're to learn the truth, we'll need to hear the testimony. I have no problem with that. But when you see what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown. In any case, let's hear the testimony. About the plan that was carried out that night. The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan had been working Fey to install our own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fey would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya and it didn't have blame. It didn't have. That's a weird way to phrase it. The idea was for me to kill Maya and have the blame pinned on Iris. Plan went wrong, but it seemed I succeeded anyway. So that means he really. Hold it. Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fey? Yes, you have a problem with that. Don't give it that nonsense. Watch yourself, try it. Got a problem, solve it during a cross-examination. It's one of my rules. Second dots connect, and by the way, that's one of my rules as well. kill Maya? Could it be true? I just realized that we are questioning the spirit of Dahlia. I imagine we're probably going to see that same reaction we saw back when she was in this mortal realm, probably. You were executed last month, correct? Yes, I was hanged. Wasn't exactly pleasant. How'd you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fey? Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was the one on death row and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her. I see. So that's when you discussed the plan? Are you crazy? At first, I was planning to kill me as well. Even though I'm her only daughter. I'm her own daughter. All to make Pearl Fey the master of Curran? She's a cold-twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister Misty took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan. Plan, huh? You're talking about Pearl Fey, is that correct? Yes, though at first she had high hopes for the two of us. You and your twin sister, Iris. That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. That's why we're abandoned by her, along with her father. Abandoned? The only person I ever really cared about in life was myself. Sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at an old temple. You mean Iris? Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general. How horrible. The real horrible one is that woman. A bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fey. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power, unfortunately for her. Morgan Fey heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family. Maya would have to die? But why? For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of.
Objection!
Objection? But Pearl would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya. How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearl's wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master, that's all. It's ridiculous. She is willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally, the life of Maya Fey as well. Can anyone do that? You were gonna kill Maya? I really didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter and channel me. Then I would simply use her body and finish the job. In any case, I'm already dead and there's nothing any of you can do to me. So the plan was to blend crown with your younger twin, Sister Iris of Hasakura Temple. She and I look absolutely identical. No one could tell us apart. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, Actually, they would think it was Iris that had done it. And the witness in the case was the head nun, Sister Bikini. I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway. But why did you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she? Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her. Backstabber? You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway. You think the plan was a success? You heard me. Just as that woman had hoped. Fireface dead. Now the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fey. Objection. Absurd. She's just trapped inside the sacred cavern. Really? You're as foolish optimistic as ever, aren't you, my darling Phoenix? Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your sniveling naivety. Your sniveling naivety and your pathetic faith in other people. I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of my Morgan Fey's plan? I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling our own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of. That's how you feel. Why'd you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya? You may not understand it, being the kind of gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that. So then tell me, why? Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction. What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne? She had her own reason for wanting Maya dead? Obviously, it's because you're helping Morgan Fey. Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious. So she wasn't actually cooperating with Morgan. She was just using Morgan and her plan so she could accomplish her own goal. All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fey. That was the only way I could think of to get revenge. Revenge. I was like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence. Okay, I think I have an idea. I imagine they probably talking about this. No. They probably mean a person. I probably imagine what person that probably is, which is amusing since it's been in my list for a while. Yeah, there it is. Objection. Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself? As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore. Because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead, and you can't take revenge against them either. You wanted to take revenge on someone? I was sentenced to die because of that woman. Mia Fey. Last time I knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, I realized revenge was impossible. I gave up. The reason it was impossible? So perhaps because Mia Fey had already died? Yes, and I realize there's only one way to take revenge against the dead. And how did you do that? Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That'd be the one and only way I would take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans. Just for that? For that you would kill Maya? Your goal was so different from that of Morgan Fey. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless. Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I already told you, there's not a thing you can do to me. That night. At about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. Quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warning hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple. So it was at least a waxing childer after all. Ridiculous head nut never noticed a thing. She left Maya Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back, clutching her poor old back. What did you do then? Kid was easier to handle than I hoped. I caught up with her in the front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... So then you're saying you stabbed Maya? It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. What does that mean, no clear memory? Don't know. I think I was stabbed. You were stabbed? At the last minute, my Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it. Objection. It's not like her at all. Why wouldn't stab a french fry with a plastic fork? Anyway, I said I lost consciousness. But before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. As I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I'd hoped it would cast suspicion on her. Unless she was thinking of that to the bitter end. That's where my memory temporarily stops. It stops. I don't have any memory of actually killing my Fey with my own 2 hands. My very last memory was by his terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in a sacred cavern surrounded by darkness. You're in the sacred cavern? The entrance is sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow, I have been trapped in there. How did you wind up in there? I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. Didn't know whether or not my fate was dead. And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her myself. For a ghost, you're one tough cookie. I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead. But I didn't do it. I didn't get out. Trick lock stopped you, huh? I didn't know how to remove it. So they're just saying you're actually good fight against your will inside the sacred cavern? Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible. But it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it. Interrupted? It was early in the morning. Someone came into the training hall. What? Ooh. Could that have been Maya? I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see. Why not? If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cavern. On that morning, only 2 people could have gone to the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to cover the hanging scroll and gravy. Still, I finally managed to remove the lock, but I was too late. What do you mean by that? The flies had already started to gather. Bridge had been fixed when the police started their Bridges had been fixed and the police had started their investigation, correct? Naturally, I couldn't go out. So instead, I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I had hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up. Lady Luck? After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. The real Iris? She says she's come to make sure the sacred caverns are right. Stupid girl. Came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I'd finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then I learned that my plan has actually succeeded. I mean, your plan succeeded. I had misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, one had summoned me. I had assumed that it was Pearl Fey. Well, of course you would have assumed that. It was in the assumptions. But I was wrong. The person that actually called my spirit back was Misty Fey, picture book author. Nani? Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. Maya Fey. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit. And that is matricide. The sin of killing her own mother. Hey. Order in the court. What is the meaning of this? It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Fey. But even so, the murderer who actually snuffed on Misty Fey's life was none other than your darling little Maya. Objection. Ridiculous. It's nonsense. Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting the facts, isn't there? What do you mean? What's this so-called evidence? The fact that Maya Fey disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it? Huh? The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from their temple, that much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be. What? Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River, or else? Ooh, river? Maya Fey killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that? That's why she threw herself into the Eagle River. Those bodies that wind up there are lost forever. So, what do you have to say now, Feeney? No, I didn't think you'd have a ringtone version of your own theme. That's actually pretty cool. Oops, sorry, that's my phone. What a ringtone is that? Pretty catchy though. Beep. Good die here. Okay, thanks. Was it something important? I just finished removing the logs from the sacred cavern. Oh, that's great. What about Maya? There was a woman in the cave. Or was it Maya Fey? Was the accused Sister Iris? Nani? Don't look so surprised. I locked her up in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that. So, what about Maya? Or where is she? There was no one else found inside the second cavern. It can't be. I told you, didn't I? She's dead. No. It seems that this case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of the least to Exum, also known as Misty Fey, was her own daughter, Maya Fey. Overcome with guilt for what she had done. Maya Fey jumped to the depth into the raging waters of the Eagle River. It can't be. Tch. Trey, have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. No matter how probable it may seem. What is that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Godot? According to this witness, Maya Fey threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden, which means that if Maya had thrown herself into the river, it must have been from the inner temple side near the bridge. That's right, that's where she jumped from. That's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there. What? Don't get your panties all twisted up, Trey. Just relax and think through the whole thing again. So it's impossible. Maya couldn't have thrown herself into Eagle River? Mr. Knight? Miss Hawthorne claims that Miss Fey threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. The photo? Take that. It's impossible to jump into the Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness. What did you say? 11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at the overhead map. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf. I remember that fact. I just had to show you a different picture. She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo. So you finally figured it out. Order. You're just playing with me. My face body's at the bottom of the Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding. Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one once before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Yes, just a few minutes ago. Maya Fey wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We know now that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River. Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities. Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be. Nani? What is this one possibility you're talking about? It's obviously a bluff. So, where's her dead body then? Okay, I think the pieces are finally falling into place. Normally living have no way to punish the dead. I think there is a way to give Dolly Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. But not me, I'm just winging it. but I got. That's yes, Hawthorne. Should I tell you where Maya is this very instant? There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here in this very courtroom. Dahlia Hawthorne. Seem to recall that you said, I admit misunderstood one thing you say. So what? But I think there's one more thing you misunderstood. What do you mean? Tell me something. At this very moment, who is challenging Dahlia Hawthorne? Why, that's obvious. It's Pearl Fey, the pathetic little sniveling runt. You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it. I've never failed to challenge someone. This is the first time it happened. Is there any explanation for why you couldn't challenge Spirit? It could happen if someone else was already challenging the same Spirit. Someone called me before Pearl did, but who? Well, Pearl even tried again on the day after the crime, but she couldn't do it. Now, what could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clear to you right about now. Am I correct? It wasn't Pearl that challenged you. I'm gonna mess this up, I know it, but I think it has to be her, right? Take that. Pearl's gonna challenge her and Maya had disappeared. Oh. Fine, I'll eat that point loss to the gem. Dogs. Out of curiosity, how far back does it take me? Okay, it takes me back to there. Okay, I have an idea then. I mean, it either has to be this or it has to be no. It has to be maybe your twin. It has to be distant, right? Oh. I swear, games will draw me so I get it right, isn't it? Take that. This was totally an easy one, and not me just fumbling in multiple timelines, I swear. I mean, Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Face gone. There's only one possibility left. Oh, they can't stand attention. Dahlia Hawthorne. The person challenging you right now must be Maya Fey. What? But how could that be? Well, this witness Dahlia Hawthorne said about her goal. She said that her goal was to kill Matt Fey. Yes, that's right. But if my child disputed someone that was trying to kill her, well, Gramps, what would happen? Could it be? Oh, looks like you finally understand, Your Honor. Well, I don't. What's going on about? What I'm going on about is the reason I challenge you. And there's only one reason. To protect yourself from you. To protect yourself from me? Yes. On the night of crime, you're only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Fey. The path back to Hazakura was closed off and there was nowhere for her to run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide? Oh. You mean that's when she channeled me? All this time you thought you'd been channeled by pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya Fey's hiding place was you. No. This wasn't an evil glare. You're saying that I, Dahlia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp? Maya Fey killed herself, isn't it obvious?
Objection!
Objection. Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into the Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the inner temple. I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that who's never been out in the real world. She could never have come up with a plan like that. Could have given her such a brilliant idea. Well, me, of course. Mia? Mia Fey. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. So, it's true. Was you? Yes. Something else. What are you doing here? Hair. It's pearls, right? Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to the night one more time. You just cornered Maya into the inner temple's garden. And then, in the final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness. I was stabbed by Maya Fey. Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you. She did. I'm totally surprised that she was about to be killed. When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided that she needed help, so she challenged me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in. She asked me what I thought she would do. She should do. She did that. Can't believe it. Of course, I didn't have all the details. But one thing was perfectly clear. That was, I knew that you wouldn't be allowed to wander free. Free? What do you mean? It was a race against time, so I wrote down two things I might have to do. channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible and lock herself into Taker Cavern until help arrived. So it was Maya who put the lock there? That lock on there? Yes, but why did you order her to do those two things? If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fey. Pearls? Yes, Pearls didn't properly understand the plan. So all she was trying to do was follow her mother, Morgan Fey's instructions. If she had succeeded in channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit, things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly. So that's how it was. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Fey to kill Maya at all costs. Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along. How dare you? Won't forget this. Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure. Yes, another failure to add to the pile of shame, wouldn't you say? What do you mean by another? Well, think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure. Dare you? 11 years ago. The fake kidnapping, your very first crime. Splish. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond bet. After Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Dahlia Hawthorne, the truth was exposed. Shut your mouth. It wasn't my fault. It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman. And then a year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but... you wound up killing someone else. And as a result, you were sentenced to death. It's one stupid move after another for you, but it's no longer funny. That smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face. And now this. You messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape. Even though she was right there in front of you. Mia Fey. Mia Fey. Mia Fey. Spinster. I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would. If only you got that spiky-haired jerk the guilty verdict, I would not have been hung to death. True. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me. You just say, whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all of eternity. Remember what you said earlier in the trial? You said there was no way we could punish you. Because you're already dead. What about it? And then he said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. It's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you'll have to remain a Starlight Hawthorne. A miserable, pathetic, weak creature who could never win at anything. And for you, there's no escape from that, no hope of freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp. It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now. Nick? Sis? Uh-oh. And now then, I'd assume you're the real Linus? Yes, I was rescued from the sacred cavern. I must say, you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mystical doubts would happen to Talia Hawthorne. If you ask me, Your Honor, looks like she went back to the house she came from. It seems that Missy Fey wasn't the only victim of this crime. I have Fey as well as the young Pearl Fey, also victims of this wicked and selfish plan. Yes, Your Honor. Tragedy at Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. It would be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel the spirit again. Your Honor? Yes, what is it? About this whole spirit medium thing. It's almost weird how comfortable we seem to be with the concept now. Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. Often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. So I made a concerted effort to study up on the cure and challenge technique. Other than your issue of occult, I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench. And in all that time, I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different, it takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ. Never thought of it that way. At any rate, it's time to pass judgment in the case of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Objection!
A little too fast with the gavel, Your Honor. What do you mean by that, Grizzicodot? This trial, it's not over yet. That's what he means. Nani? That's right. Remember Miss Evil Spirit said their testimony? Huh? Dahlia's testimony? Just as Dahlia Haldor was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone. Yes, that's right. The person that was ultimately killed was a spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. These two no, Misty Faye. But who killed her? Still don't know who did it. This isn't over? If someone else is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. Can't let her walk until there's evidence that proves her innocence. No way. That's... Well, these are prepared for any further testimony. You know what? This seems like the perfect time to cut it here because I'm pretty much at time regardless. And Godot is foreshadowing something, so when we come back next time in Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations, we see what Godot has up his sleeve, or in his coffee, I guess, in this case. And we'll see what this final witness is, or who, or what, or why we're still doing this. So yeah, I'll catch you guys then.